This video has been made for UNICACH, University of Sciences and Arts of Chiapas, which is a university with 76 years of education experience, and it's located in Tuxtla Gutiérrez, Chiapas, Mexico. It is also for the Department of Humanities and Social Studies, and the International Languages Bachelor's degree, which is a career that has been operating for 5 years now, and its main goal is to make professional translators, interpreters, and teachers. It is part of the Phonetics and Phonology program by PhD Jose Lopez Velázquez, and it's designed for a 12 to 18-year-old audience. Hello, welcome to my video. My name is Josias Reyes Molet. I am currently a student in the first semester of the University of Sciences and Arts of Chiapas in the International Languages Bachelor's degree. I am originally from Tuxtla Gutiérrez, Chiapas. If you wish to contact me, please send me a message through my Gmail account, which will appear right here. The topic we will be looking at today is the relationship between phonetics and phonology through the phonetic and auditory apparatus. We will be looking at how sound is produced, perceived, and understood. My goal in this project is for you to comprehend this topic and how phonetics and phonology are so important on our daily speaking. Now, before looking at anything else, we must address what phonology is, and it's only the basic way and order how speech sounds are organized and could affect one another in the way they're pronounced. It pays close attention of how vowels are pronounced and how a small difference could affect the meaning of a word. Next thing we must look at is cadence. Cadence is a very important tool for phonology because while reading, it helps us to link words up to a certain point in which it almost sounds like what is being read was one big word. This way we solve any slow reading problems. Then we must look at pronunciation. As it was already pointed out, a proper pronunciation either in vowels or consonants are essential for phonology due to that them being used correctly, they could deliver a very good message. But if not, they could change the whole meaning of the topic that is being addressed. Now, phonetics. Phonetics are the study of the physical systems we use to vocally produce a sound, either it be through an inside organ of our body or an outside part of it. There are three types of phonetics as it's shown here in the picture: the articulatory, the acoustic, and the perceptual. But before looking at that, we will be looking at how a sound is produced in the phonetic apparatus. Now, it's important to understand how a sound is made by airwaves being pushed through our three vocal cavities, and this way turning a simple airwave into an understandable sound. Now, the phonetic apparatus, as it's shown in these three pictures, first we see the three vocal cavities that are in charge of pushing the air out, which are the infraglottic cavity, or also called lungs, right here. They are the ones who pump up the air we have inside so that later we can expel the containment of that air. Then we get the trachea. The trachea, once the air has been pushed out from our lungs, it travels through our trachea like water through a pipe. Then we get the diaphragm. It supports our lungs by going up and down along with them, preventing them from touching any other of our organs. Now, it's important to point out that there are many components of the phonetic apparatus, like it's shown here in the picture. We can see how the air comes from our trachea, gets to our larynx, flows through the oral cavity, passing through all the components of the phonetic apparatus, and finally being expelled through our mouth. Another very important aspect of phonetics are the articulatory phonetics, which are about either the placement or movements we must do to properly make a certain sound. Example number 1. Whenever we produce the letters T and the letter D, there will always be a clear difference due to the position of our tongue. When you pronounce the letter T, the top of our tongue is touching the alveolar ridge. Instead, with the letter D, it is the tip of our tongue that touches the alveolar ridge. Now, example number 2. As it's shown here in the picture, whenever our vocal cords are open or closed, the sounds we may make could be voiced or voiceless, like when we make the sound of the letters P and B. We notice the B is softly produced with our lips being normally touched, whereas P is being aspirated, like if the sound were spitted out. In this case, our lips are putting pressure on each other. Now, acoustic phonetics. This type of phonetics goes even more in depth on acoustic characteristics of speech. It also deals with the other sounds we may make when we take a brief pause when speaking. The terms for the characteristics are frequency. It's in charge of finding out how lower or higher in pitch is the sound we are making. Number 2, intensity. It measures at how many decibels the sound is produced. And finally, duration. It counts how much time does it take to produce a sound. Finally, perceptual phonetics. As it's shown here in the picture, and as its name indicates, it studies how sound is heard and perceived through the types of phonetics. Now that we have addressed the perceptual phonetics, the auditory apparatus goes more in depth on how sound is perceived due to its direct and physical connection to our brain. So, when an emissor produces a sound, that sound arrives to our outer ear, then our inner ear, then it travels through our auditory canal, and finally arriving to our brain. This way, all this is converted into a new meaning, or giving us an understanding of a new idea. So, in conclusion, phonetics and phonology are considered to be fundamental parts of linguistic studies and the daily communications we may have. They are essential for us human beings for a proper way to speak. It's very important and very interesting to know the phonetic apparatus because we get to know how much work is put in our inner organs to make a simple but very efficient sound. The auditory apparatus is also very interesting due to that we discover how sound waves travel through our inner ears, then all the way to our brain, and they end up becoming solid information. My name is Josias Reyes Molet. I thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day. Blessings, everyone. Take care.